He'll be 35 years old September 7. Vargas will be 29 on Pearl Harbor Day. A 1-inch height advantage for Fernando. He's the bigger, heavier-boned fighter. Arm length advantage, though, 1.5 inches to Shane Mosley. Unusually long arm for his body, and arm length here is measured, of course, from the armpit to the end of the fist. They both weighed in within a pound of the 154-pound limit. Unofficially, Shane Mosley has rehydrated only to 159 pounds. Fernando Vargas putting on an unofficial 14 pounds overnight. He'll probably outweigh Mosley by 8 or 10 pounds in the ring. CompuBox numbers, Larry Merchant.
A look at the first fight through the numbers. You can see Mosley was more active, even though the numbers of punches were close that were landed. The more active fight often will get the benefit of the doubt in close rounds. Power punches, Mosley did land a couple of handfuls, more of them. Vargas actually threw more power punches.
Rules of the bout with our unofficial ringside scorer, Harold Letterman.
The Shane Mosley Fernando Vargas fight is scheduled for 12 rounds using the unified rules of the Association of Boxing Division. There is no 3 knockdown rule. Only the referee can stop the fight. In case the cut is caused by an accidental headbutt, we go to the scorecards if the 4 rounds have been completed, and you cannot be saved by the bell in any round, including the 12th and final round.
Fernando Vargas says that he needs to get off to a better start in round 1. He needs to move his head better to avoid Shane Mosley's right hand. He needs to set up counter shots. And particularly, he feels like he needs to get in some body punches in the first round to begin to soften Mosley up.
Well, the one thing that I noticed right away when they enter the ring, Mosley is dressed for speed for this fight. He's got those smaller trunks, shorter trunks instead of the big baggy ones that he's used in most recent years. His shoes are much lighter, and therefore that little speed element, probably from talking to Oscar De La Hoya.
He understands the reason that as fighters like Mosley, De La Hoya, Barrera, and Hopkins spend more time together shoulder to shoulder in Golden Boy Promotions, they'll share input with each other, and that will improve them all.
Oh, yeah. Well, Oscar always, when I was trained, he always believed in dressing like the old school fighters with the light, short trunks and all. He always looking for every advantage in speed.
Freedom of motion.
And right there at this stage, I can see that's going to, I think, be the biggest factor in this fight already. I think Fernando is just moving a lot slower. His outfit and everything else are just much slower than Shane.
Fernando landed a very low blow, and Mosley talked to Kenny Bayless about it after Kenny Bayless said to Fernando to keep it up. It was not a heavy shot. Fernando knew that he was throwing a low blow. Here's the right hand with which Mosley damaged Vargas's eye in the first fight as he sneaks it over the top to begin. And then a jab from Mosley.
I don't see what Fernando's going to do to it because he's got his weight bending so much forward over his left foot that it's very difficult for him to pull back or to do anything from those right hands. His body position is very bad, and I think Shane's going to shoot a lot of right hands tonight at him.
Vargas hasn't really gotten off early. Mosley's landed a couple of good left jabs and the one sneaky right hand over the top. They hold each other on one side and trade body shots on the other, and now Kenny Bayless will break them up. Quicker hands for Mosley. That was part of the problem for Vargas first time around.
Vargas seems very conscious of trying to stay away from the right hand of Mosley, where he was peppered with it early in the first fight.
The biggest thing I've noticed to me, maybe I'm wrong, Vargas seems exceptionally slow tonight, contrary to what I thought. He was very slow in his body movement and his feet.
Well, on the HBO unofficial scale, Fernando Vargas outweighed Shane Mosley by 8 or 10 pounds coming into the ring. And that further would accentuate the speed advantage for Mosley if in fact it's true.
Because he has had a slow round, sizing up Mosley in this fight, Mosley has been able to just purely outbox him rather than outpunch him, right, as he did early in the first
maneuvering
fight.
him with his footwork and rhythm.
All right, look. You got to establish the jab, champ. You understand? You got to get that jab established. Along with the pressure. Make sure that you're moving your left foot when you use your jab. When you use your kick, throw the step, all right? Now look here, I need you to chop with the right hand when you get close to him, all right? Don't throw for a shot. Don't reach for him. Every time you get ready to throw a right hand, expect him to throw a hook, all right? Bang on him. And off the line. Body, head, finish on top. But the hard jabs he worked on, at one point or another, use it, but off the feint. And then you got good hooks. You can hook him, catch the other side. Okay? So
Round one relatively easy for Mosley, especially by CompuBox count. Shane Mosley given credit for landing 19 out of 64 punches in the first round. Fernando Vargas only 3 out of 29. Vargas seemed exceedingly conscious of trying to get out of the first round without incurring any damage at the hands of Shane Mosley's quick right hand.
He's trying to outbox Mosley. I don't know if that's possible.
Well, and it would be difficult to try to track down Mosley on the basis of landing one big life-changing shot. You look at Shane Mosley's chin record, he's only been knocked down in one of his professional fights. First fight with Vernon Forrest.
Work out, fellas. Come on, work out of there.
Moses making a mistake of whenever Fernando's coming in, just meeting him halfway and bending in and clinching instead of moving off to the side, because Fernando is not moving well on his feet and he gets off balance, but Shane is bending into him instead of moving away more.
Stop! Sit back. Sit back. It's clean. It's clean. It's clean.
Vargas hasn't really landed a meaningful punch yet in the fight. Starting to throw a little bit more upstairs, but
Work out of there. Work out.
there's a body shot by Vargas straight to the solar plexus of Mosley.
I'm asking you to work out, fellas. Come on, I'm asking you to work out.
So the pattern of the first fight repeats to a certain degree here, as Vargas is the slower starter. And now a little bit more of an even fight begins to evolve as they start to trade at close quarters.
Well, the referee is being very, very slow in breaking these punches up.
Listen, I'm telling you to work out. Let's work out, all right? Here we go. Time in.
I'm telling you to work out, Kenny Bayless said.
Well, if they don't, then he's got to separate them.
Sweeping right hand landed for Shane Mosley. Vargas gets in a left to the body. It was a little bit low. Kenny Bayless says, keep it up. Vargas says, get out of my way. I'm fighting here. Quick jab for Mosley. Little right hand over the top. Just a glancing blow.
Work out, work out, work out.
Whatever Vargas thinks he's trying to do, which should unfold over the next few rounds, he's not using his natural strength to overcome Mosley.
He's trying, but he's just moving it so slow, and Shane is bending into him instead of staying away, which gives him some advantage because Shane is not staying on the outside, but nevertheless, Vargas is just moving too slow to me.
Shane Mosley appears to be the winner of the first couple of rounds, landing and throwing more against Fernando Vargas, and now he goes back to Reunion Corner, where after a 4-fight hiatus with trainers like Joe Goosen and John David Jackson, he is back with his father, Jack Mosley. You are looking at tape coverage of Shane Mosley versus Fernando Vargas, the rematch last week in Las Vegas. There's a live shot of the boardwalk in Atlantic City, where later tonight Carlos Baldomir defends the welterweight championship against the ultra-popular Arturo Gatti. A short time ago, our Larry Merchant visited Gatti in his dressing room.
Arturo, when you heard or saw that Baldomir had won the welterweight championship from Zab Judah, did you know instantly that this was going to mean something to you?
Yeah, definitely, but I had a fight against Thomas Dangard, and I was worried about that fight, but that had calls from my manager, my promoter. It was something we were looking at, and I was definitely the best candidate for Baldomir.
Had you ever heard of him before?
Never. I just know he beat Zab Judah, and there's a reason why he's here tonight. So.
What do you know about him now?
He's a tough fighter, and he beat Zab Judah, and I know he came prepared. He upset Zab Judah in New York City, and he's come to New Jersey to try to beat me. That's going to be hard, but...
Can you beat a big, natural welterweight?
Well, we're going to find out. I trained very hard for this fight, and I'm very excited.
So are we.
The Gaddy faithful will fill Boardwalk Hall again tonight, but now let's go back to more from Las Vegas, the rematch between Vargas and Mosley.
Don't let him tie you up so much, okay, Shane? When you got that open hand, you got to go for it. The open hand, go for it. You're hitting it with tremendous body shots, but you still haven't unleashed a good hard jab. Every now and then, you got to stick him with a hard jab. You got to let him know that you're just like going, you know, range finding with the jab.
He blocked his jab pretty good.
Feint him out of position. That's what the feint's for, okay? And you got to relax out there too. Just relax, okay?
Tell him.
You got to be.
Right here you see Shane landing the right hand, similar to what he landed so often in the first fight. Because Vargas was coming in with his head bent forward, where a lot of times he can't even see the punch coming on the side.
Hey, watch the head. Watch
Well, he
the
can
head.
hear that when it caught him right on the ear.
Yeah.
Round 3 begins. Vargas still trying to gain a foothold in the fight, and you heard Jack Mosley saying to Shane, you need to crack him with some good hard jabs. Right hand lands for Mosley. He doubles up on the right hand. Shane Mosley's hand-speed advantage immediately apparent here. Vargas catches him with one left hand. Mosley almost couldn't throw up on the canvas.
Yeah, Vargas doesn't seem to have any defense. You know, sometimes you see a guy throwing a right hand, you roll your shoulders, maybe you shield it by pushing your left hand out. He's not doing anything, just coming in and hoping that he doesn't get hit with it, and that's it.
Mosley fans in the crowd begin to chant for Shane. Kind of a scratch and sniff fight so far for Vargas, who still hasn't landed a big clean shot, and now he gets in a good left hook to the body. Mosley countered with a right hand upstairs. Vargas misses with a chopping right hand over the top, and now they're beginning to trade. Another sneaky quick right hand for Shane Mosley. Primary weapon against Vargas so far. Vargas almost slips as he leans in. Quick left hook for Mosley. And another quick left hook and a thudding right hand to follow as Mosley hot-shotting Vargas from close range.
If Mosley keeps doing what he's doing and keep his body in an upright position like that, he wins very easy. When he starts bending forward when he gets hit. But if he fights at that distance where he can take advantage of Vargas' slowness, bad balance, he'd win this fight very easily.
And Mosley set up the right hand over the top, landed it flush on Vargas' left eye. Vargas lands the jab and sneaks in a left hook. Little body shot for Fernando. Mosley taps him on the head. Hard body punch with the right hand by Shane Mosley, and that stops Fernando's punch output for the moment. Double jab, triple jab. 1, 2, 3, 4 jabs in a row for Shane Mosley before Vargas reaches with a body punch. Good body shot by Mosley again. He's had 2 or 3 stinging right hands to the Vargas ribcage.
Yeah, he's landing these pot shots, and he's fighting at the right distance right now, too.
First 3 rounds in the first fight went to Shane Mosley. The pattern repeats again 5 months later.
Vargas said he has them all figured out from the first
gave him that
round.
round, man. What
First
are you
fight,
looking for?
you could have fooled
What the
me.
fuck are you looking for? You looking for a knockout right now? You gotta win these rounds, man. You're not picking and shooting back with your jab. You just sliding along. He's measuring you, and he's looking for the right hand, and he's touching you. You understand? You're not moving your head. You're not getting under him and throwing the body shot hook right hand upstairs like we worked on. All right? You're not even throwing the 1-2s up top. You understand? You just plotting along. Come on, baby, get your head into this shit. All right? Let's go to work, champ. You got a great jab. I want to see it.
Got to get a little more mean inside, okay? Don't be passive with
Thursday, July 27, it's Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. Among the stories, we sit down with Terrell Owens, the NFL's reigning king of controversy, for his first primetime interview since his tumultuous divorce from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Okay? Don't throw the right up, left uppercut. Hit it with that right uppercut, drop under, and come back with a hook.
CompuBox jab numbers through the third round. Shane Mosley, 27 out of 109, highly creditable. Fernando Vargas, 7 out of 40. Not much better than in the first fight when he only threw 88 jabs all night. Harold Letterman, how'd you score the first 3 rounds?
Look at you, 3-0, 30-27. Sugar Shane Mosley. Jim, he's winning it on hand speed, clean punching. For 2 rounds, I was watching a wrestling match. I gotta tell you, Kenny Bayless was very slow breaking him up, but in the third round, Bayless started to pull him apart, just like he is there, and that's what you gotta do. 3-0, Shane Mosley.
Talk about beating your man to the punch. You just saw Mosley beating Vargas to the punch mercilessly with the right hand, and he's doing it over and over and over right here.
He's getting off faster than Fernando, and actually, Fernando doesn't have too much of an answer for anything right now.
You heard how disappointed Danny Smith was in Fernando's corner, saying you're just plodding along, you're not really doing anything. It doesn't look as though Vargas is physically into the fight
I
yet.
don't think that Vargas can do any better than this. I actually really do think that the back injuries, and as I said earlier, in those really brutal fights that he was involved in, was taking a toll on him.
For the past few years, he's been fighting with a bulging L5 disc, a bulging disc in the 5th lumbar vertebra. He himself acknowledges that when the boxing career is over, the disc will probably require surgery. Emmanuel, it's just impossible for me to imagine somebody fighting competently at the top level in the sport with that kind of disability.
I agree with you, Jim, and I have a lot of respect for him, too, for this. And
oh, he's a courageous guy.
He's a very decent man, and the fact that...
But let's remember, he had that same disc problem 4.5 months ago, and he fought a much stronger fight. He started to go after him in this round, put pressure on him, use his naturally bigger size to make it a hard fight.
Now he throws a right hand over the top. He got tattooed with right hands early in the round, but suddenly Vargas looks just a little bit more energetic as he stands up on the balls of his feet and begins to try to move more.
Well, actually, the last fight, I'll be very honest with you, I wasn't that even impressed with that fight, to be honest with you. The only thing that I saw effective was what he just did thoroughly, was he landed straight right-hand leads. But he was slow to me even in that fight.
Well, he's always going to be slower than Shane Mosley.
Vargas needs a way to make his greater size and strength a big factor in the fight. And the problem is that he's getting hit with straight shots by Shane Mosley.
Work out.
Whatever adjustments that Vargas is trying to make, it hasn't worked. He's got to go to plan B.
Once again, that's tape of the rematch between Shane Mosley and Fernando Vargas from last week. There's Carlos Valdemir of Argentina. He has not lost a fight in more than 7 years. He's won the welterweight championship. Huge upset earlier this year. About 20 minutes from now, he'll be walking to the ring against Arturo Gatti. But here's what happened against Zab Judah in Madison Square Garden on January 7th of this year. Judah, as you saw there, attempted to hit Valdemir with a low blow at the end of referee's instructions, and was talked to about it by Arthur McCandy Jr. But in the first few rounds of the fight, Judah's greater hand speed and boxing ability seemed to stand him in good stead. Then in the 7th round, Valdemir began backing Judah up, hitting him with hard shots. And from this point forward, Judah wanted no part of the physical contact in the fight. Constantly moving away from Valdemir in the closing rounds, he set the stage for the judges to give to Valdemir a well-deserved upset victory. And for a fighter with 9 losses and 6 draws already on his record, a shocking welterweight championship. Now let's go back to Las Vegas to resume our coverage of the rematch between Mosley and Vargas.
You're not winning no rounds, baby. You're not winning no rounds. You're trotting along and you're using your jab occasionally. You're not using your jab enough. And you thought, I need you to chop with the right hand because he's doing like that. and he's dropping, and your right hand is going across it. I want you to chop down with it.
You can hit him with a jab, a hard jab, and a right hand, a left hook. You can run combinations on his ass when you want to. He's not doing shit.
Just wait for you to get buried down a little more.
But you get, okay, but get on your toes a little bit so you can get some clean shots off. So the judge is judging. You can't say, oh, he was in the fight by.
Right here, you see Shane Mosley landing the right hand, very similar once again to what he did in the first fight. And it's the same thing because Vargas has his head so much forward that it makes it difficult for him to avoid getting hit with those right hands. And there's simply speed. Once again, Larry, you said, there's too much of a speed difference in this fight.
Those were right hands from throughout the first 4 rounds by Shane Mosley. Once again, it's been the biggest factor in the fight. Mosley's quick right hand. On Harold Letterman's card, he's won each of the first 4 rounds. Copy box numbers in the fourth. Mosley, 25 out of 54. Vargas, 15 out of 55. It's been a Shane Mosley fight, and Vargas needs to do something different. As Larry Merchant said at the end of the last round, where's plan B?
Come on, work out, work out, work out.
There's the right hand again. And Mosley swinging away with impunity as Vargas ducks to try to slip a punch.
Step back, fellas. There we go, clean. Keep it clean. There we go, there we go. Work out. Work out. Stop, step back.
Vargas fans try to get excited at a near headbutt collision and a short right hand that Fernando managed to land.
Well, I think the Shane landed the right hand now. His got off a little faster.
Come on, work out of here.
Vargas lands a jab that momentarily snaps Mosley's head back.
So far, I think that jab and the right hand lead the round before were the best punches that I've saw him land the whole night. But he should still shoot more of those right hand leads when he gets close like that. That's a very effective punch for him.
This is the first time in the fight that Vargas has consistently been able to back Mosley up.
Watch the head.
Mosley fires in a left hook as Vargas was stepping forward. And now the right eye is beginning to show damage as Shane Mosley's left hook has begun to touch up Fernando Vargas' right eye, and there's blood outside the right eye of Vargas. So it was the left eye in the last fight. It's the right eye that's bleeding now. Right hand over the top by Vargas. He lands a left.
If Vargas could really pick up his pace, a little speed, and put pressure on at a little faster tempo, he has a very good chance still of winning this fight.
Maybe the sight of his own blood will cause him to step up the tempo. And that's Kenny Bayless is going to ask a doctor to take a look at the cut.
It was a punch. That's okay. Just a little thing.
And the bad news for Vargas, Bayless says it was a punch. Certainly looked as though it was a left hook that caused the damage.
Work out, work out, work out.
Another quick left hook for Mosley.
Well, if Vargas has been more successful in not getting peppered with as many right hands in this fight, it's been at the expense of leaving himself open for more jabs like that. And as a consequence, his other eye has opened up.
Hand-feet advantage for Mosley, entirely visible here as they flurry to the end of the 5th round. For the first time, Fernando Vargas pumps a fist to try to get his crowd into the fight, but it's the Mosley people who are celebrating in Las Vegas.
And that's all he's doing is boxing and touching you, looking for right hand. He's coming underneath every now and with the body shot. You're not jabbing enough. I don't want you jumping in with lead body shots, man. All right? Don't jump in with lead body shots. Use your jab before you do anything, baby. You got to establish your distance and your range, and I need you to chop with the right hand when you get there. And every time, you ain't even threw a 1-2 straight yet.
How you feel?
Feel good.
Feel good? Okay, good. Watch that. Okay, continue. Take a deep breath. Doing good, but you still haven't gotten on your toes so you can pop with that jab. I want you to bust his nose, bust his eye, bust his lip with that jab. You have a hard enough jab to do that. Okay? Just, you know, and then we take that half step back, come back, bam. He's dropping forward, coming forward on you. Half step back, uppercut him, hook, or hit him with a right hand or something. If you hit him hard enough, he ain't got no.
Emmanuel Danny Smith, Vargas's trainer, was scolding him in the corner. Is that a good idea?
I think so in this case, yeah. I just don't think that Vargas can do any better. But he's right. He's fighting so lethargic and just plodding as he moves in. And Shane is just slowly picking up the points and building up a big lead. But I don't think that actually Vargas can do any better, though.
We're in the 6th of the scheduled 12. CompuBox numbers in 5. Mosley 25 out of 63, including 11 punches connected in the last minute of the round. Vargas 15 out of 59. It was a slightly better round for Fernando, but he cannot step up and say, I won that one quite yet.
And when you look at the fact that I think for just natural body strength, he's probably about 13 pounds bigger than Shane for his natural strength. Just as he said, he feels more comfortable as a middleweight, where Shane feels he's more comfortable at 147. But he cannot take advantage of that because he cannot apply that force fast enough.
Vargas trying to throw a right hand over the top. His trainer, Danny Smith, keeps asking him to establish his jab. Fernando tries a jab to the body there and the jab upstairs there. Maybe he's got Danny's words in his head and is thinking more clearly about trying to set things up with a jab. Mosley's jab is quicker and is landing way more consistently.
See, Shane's confidence is growing down when I think he's really just settling in and realizing the big speed differential between the two of them now.
Vargas.
Well, Vargas has decided to see if he can do better counter punching. He's backing up, circling, hoping to lure Mosley into doing that and catching him with something.
That's what he did most of the night. One of his best performances ever against Ike Quartet.
Yeah, but Shane is just I was going to say Shane is going to him because he sees that he's too slow. And that's what they say.
Vargas having tremendous difficulty responding to the left hook knockdown. And now he's up. And he's going to give Kenny Bayless a sign to let him know that he wants to keep fighting. But Vargas may not have legs at the moment. Yeah. He was wobbly as all get out after the big left hook. He takes the right hand.
That's why Shane was going forward.
And the fight is stopped. Yeah. The fight is stopped as Kenny Bayless has seen enough.
The fight is done, and so may Vargas be.
Could well be. But the celebration surrounds that man. And you're tempted to say that he looked as good tonight with his combination punching as has been the case in years.
He did a great job, and I was reading his mind when he was starting to go forward because he realized really how slow and vulnerable Fernando was, and he had changed up his strategy then. Because I think at the beginning he was still conscious of Fernando's strength, but I think he felt comfortable after 2 rounds and realized that this guy is just so slow and easy to hit that he was just looking for that one power punch. He was no longer trying to get points.
And what do you think this does, Emmanuel? Setting up a potential fight between Shane Mosley and Floyd Mayweather Jr.
It sets up a great fight.
I mean, this
no championship
doesn't have to be.
Right,
this wasn't for a championship. This knockout, so sensational, makes that fight bigger than ever. And despite the fact that Mosley has said categorically he would not fight Mayweather this year, this could lead to the kind of over-the-rainbow pot of gold allure that changes his mind.
The 4th loss of Fernando Vargas' career. His 4 losses come to a who's who of fighters of his era. 1 to Trinidad, 1 to De La Hoya, 2 to Shane Mosley. And as for the prospect of Mosley fighting Mayweather, I say, do it now. Shane hasn't looked that good in a long, long time. There's the stoppage by Kenny Bayless. Fernando Vargas simply getting too much punishment too consistently from Shane Mosley, who overwhelmed him with hand speed and athletic talent. A big win for Shane Mosley. Let's go to Michael Buffer for the particulars on the stoppage.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at 2 minutes, 38 seconds of round number 6 here at the MGM Grand of Las Vegas. As referee Kenny Bayless steps in and calls a halt, the winner by TKO victory from Pomona, California, Sugar Shane